Hello everybody, how are you guys doing today? Welcome into the stream. Texas Line, how are you doing today? Welcome in. Getting ready and we're gonna paint a bit. Some minis over here. I'm actually going to open up a little guide. You need to go. What's up, Mydrol? John Lockridge. Zen, what's going on, guys? How you doing? It's the best picture. I think that's fine. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's figure this out. Be my voice of reason. I don't need a TM and TNMT booster box. Zen has been lambasting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for months at this point. So you're not gonna get any positive response from him. So smaller set, go to the previous event and you'll get the majority of the set. Okay. Alright, so here's what we're doing. We're painting the two actual mortars. We have the crew painted. The crew are all done hanging out. So now it's time for the old artillery. I do have a new bottle of bone here. I'll put this down and just get started. I think we'll do red on the middle sections. That's how we'll get this working here. You put Reaper turrets. No, don't put those on the bases. No, you keep them up. What's going on, Kill Cam? How you doing? Turtle in every pack. How can you say no to that? Oh my gosh. Ford woke up at 11:50 last night and didn't go back to bed until nearly 1 a.m. I blame Zen for no other reason than to blame someone. Yeah, I bet Zen can guess exactly who that is. His #1 hater here, apparently. Alright. Yeah, let's paint some big guns. Is it even yeah, it's John Lockridge, yeah. Oh man. How's everybody's Tuesday? How was your guys' Monday? Zen, I hope you're feeling better today. Over what a ridiculous sickness. You're actually no idea? Feels like it's passing. Good deal. Alright. I didn't know that Zen hated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles so much. And he was telling me about it like it was like a couple months ago. He was just going on and on about how much he hates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it was like the day after that I met with someone for a game of Heresy, and the dude on his forearm had a TMNT tattoo And all I could think about was like Zen just being like furious and like completely judging that guy. So I could think of it. Hey, Misfit, what's going on? Ginger tea, lots of hydration. You feel better. Good deal. All right. Yeah, new AdMech. Yeah, what do you guys think about the new AdMech minis? I think they look fine. The inventory don't look that incredible. The character looks pretty good. Looks pretty generic as far as a AdMech character goes, but the AdMech characters tend to look pretty good. So, that's cool. TMNT was everything when you were a kid. Yeah, I used to watch like the cartoon, and yeah. Then those movies came out, and the one with like Vanilla Ice. Had some love for the turtles as a kid. See, everybody's afraid to be judged by Zen now, so no one will admit that they like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles now. I was gonna watch it with my son sometime. The movies, the like '90s movies, and just like horrify him with the weird '90s like costumes and stuff. You like the character model for AdMech? Yeah, everything is very Necron looking. I bet they got something other than the Stilt Boy this edition. Yeah, yeah, what an embarrassment for the AdMech. It's honestly pretty surprising they just got like a whole new infantry model. I mean, you know, good for them. The original movies still hold up. Okay, okay. I was heavily influenced after the fall of KDSC and Trazen. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wonder if there's just like, if, you know, obviously everything in like a miniature sculpt is deliberate, right? But like, is that idea just a, like a, hey, you know, wink wink, void dragon sitting in Mars for thousands of years, influencing the technology and everything, and this lady really leans into it, so where we're going. I like to think that that is part of it. You know, the thing they hate the most is what drives their technology, which is cool. You think the Stilt Boy is hilarious in a good way, but I hate when factions only get a random character model for a whole edition. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I completely despise that miniature, but also hate when they only get one character. At least update something, which, to be fair, AdMech is a pretty new army with their miniatures. Their oldest models are like the basic infantry and like the chicken walker things, which don't look terribly outdated, so I can understand them not getting a lot. But yeah, and Mechanicum seems to have a pretty big variety of units too. It's not like Genestealer cults or Dark Eldar that are stuck with, you know, 20 data sheets or whatever, and then get a single character for the edition. What did Genestealer cults get? Did Genestealer cults get anything with their book? They got some. Oh, they got the Brain Guy, the Benefictus, because I literally have that many on my desk, because we're going to be giving it away. Single pack update is quite the undertaking. Yeah, I would also yeah, agree with that. That, you know, updating a whole set of minis is a lot more work than just, here's a new character that we sculpted 5 years ago. We just throw it into production. We produce 8 sprues instead of 1 because the sprues are little, and, you know, do a 3-hour run of this character and then we're done for the next 6 months or whatever. Like that's fine. I did shut off the end. Yeah, you're right. You're right. This year, guys, I think my brain's just gonna stop functioning. It's just that what getting old is. You just forget things like that. These Votann have more named character models than Admech. Yeah, but there's only so many characters you can name, you know, zeros and ones before it starts getting boring, right? Votann have a pretty decent like variety in minis now at this point anyway, which is crazy considering they've been out for like 2 years. And they have more units than Dark Eldar. So, today's the day that I go out and I start boiling down maple water into syrup. I ended up tapping the second tree to get a little tap going. I only have like 1 tap in each tree, but I got that going, so I'm hoping I get a decent amount out of it for today and as I go. But yeah, I'm gonna start going. I'm gonna try to get a little bottle of maple syrup out of this, see if it works, and if it doesn't, then it was a test run. Yeah, one of my buckets is mostly full though. Like I have multiple gallons of maple water in the first bucket, so. Went to get a new mouse at Walmart because I thought it was on sale. Oh, okay. Half off price is only if I ordered it online and picked it up. Just shook my head and left. Yeah. Retail sucks. Wholeheartedly agree. It's like 2 tablespoons of syrup. It is. Yeah, it is. Okay. Here's an impressive thing. Let me just throw this out real quick and see who can tell me a number quick, alright? The ratio of maple water to syrup as you boil it down is 40-1. So you boil down about 40, the amount of 40, I don't know, whatever, of maple water, you get 1 part syrup, okay? If I have a full 5-gallon bucket, how much maple syrup would that give me with a 40-1 ratio? Anybody got an amount? What would that give me? $16 ounces. Yeah, okay, so it's 1/8 of a gallon, right? It's 40-1. Yeah, I think 16 ounces is the right ounce amount. So, from 5 gallons of maple water being reduced down 40 times. So, I was chatting with my son about this at the bus stop, and we were talking about, we checked our buckets this morning before we went to the bus stop and everything, and he was just chatting. He's like, hey, you know, if that bucket were completely full and you would get 1/8 of a gallon of maple syrup out of that. And I was like, what? Excuse me? Like, what do you mean? How did you figure out like 1/8 of a gallon? And he's like, oh, I just used fractions. And I was like, hold on a second. Yeah, it's 16 ounces, right? But How did he figure out an eighth of a gallon? You know, like, what kind of random math was going through his head in the 10 seconds at the bus stop that he just figured out? I don't know how Paintingson figured that out so quick, but I was really impressed. Yeah, 40 divided by 5, right? Yeah. It is right. No, it's 100% right. I was seriously impressed that my 9-year-old was just like that. That seems like fairly complex fractions for a third grader. Is that new age math? It might be. Yeah. Yeah, he learns a lot of like properties and stuff with math and how to figure things out. So I am assuming that there is some kind of distributive property that happens or that he figures out, and the relationship between the number 5 and the number 40, and like flips it on its head and stuff. Like that was crazy. Yeah, 16 ounces of syrup isn't bad. Not bad at all. It's supposed to be real warm the rest of the week though, so this might be my only chance this year. Multiplication tables? Maybe. He's also not doing math that I didn't think he was doing math that complicated in school. I think that he figured out yeah, like a specific mathematical like rule or property or whatever, and worked backwards with it. That's what I think happened. Either way, like I'm really impressed. Because I had actually thought of that, and I didn't put like a ton of thought into it, like sit down and try to work out the math, but I was like, I thought a couple times, like, how much syrup would I get out of a single 5-gallon bucket? Like, what should that make? And I had never just like thought of the answer, and then he just casually talking to me, he's like, yeah, you'll get an eighth of a gallon. $41, 1 to 40, 44. Yeah, yep. That's so cool. And I understand, like, he might not know ounces to gallon conversion yet or anything, but that's super cool. Okay, that is the bone on this artillery piece. We're gonna get the next one. Yeah, yep. I love it. Good deal. This kid knowing his math. Sounds like tasty math. It is tasty math. Yeah, I agree. I hope it's tasty math and not sour math. What's going on, Avelios? How are you doing today? Really? Really? Yeah. We back? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Welcome. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you. Discord's gonna... I have read and heard that it's OBS. OBS is being a turd. with their servers like being inconsistent or something. It's not Twitch and it's not my internet. I was watching another streamer who had done the research. A much bigger streamer was having issues. Yeah. Or it's not OBS, it's Restream that I'm using. Yeah. So like that particular streamer I was watching used Restream to stream Twitch and YouTube, and they ended up just turning off their Twitch streams and just streaming through YouTube like they used to eliminate the issue. So paying extra to add problems. Yeah, I'm not paying any extra for Restream. So live. Struggling to paint the model I'm submitting for February competition. Yeah. I might do the March one. I'll look into what's going on in March and maybe I'll paint a mini for the March competition. Is there free? Yeah. Restream is free. Yeah. You can pay for extra features. I'm not paying for extra features though. I don't think I am. You pay for your church to have it? Yeah. I'm sure there is a function to pay for it where you get a lot more something. Hey, EO, what's going on? How's your day? Do you have a good President's Day, EO? I'm just kidding. Some people here got the day off work. But at this rate, it might just be you and Connor. Boy, painting scale mini is really hard to get the flat. Yeah. Super thin paints. Should I just take a day and paint a mini real quick? Just like whatever, and just like throw it in the competition. I know there's themes though, so. Free seems to offer 2 targets. And watermark in studio, but what studio? I have no idea. Early afternoon off and did some hobbying. Oh, very nice. I got some of the whips. Let's see. I'm gonna guess it's Blood Bowl. Let's take a look. You start on the lizards for your league. Is that what's going on? Let's take a look. Guys, go check out. Oh, no, it's Kill Team. Alright, AdMech. What an AdMech themed week. Alright. Very nice looking so far. The red looks good. Your metallics are looking really good. I like the like bronze kind of gold color you got going on. Yeah, really good looking stuff, man. Nice stuff. So I stream through OBS, but I connect it to my Restream account. So I don't know. I don't know if there's some other shenanigans going on, but okay. This guy, right? Yeah. The weather is crazy outside. It's going to get up to like 67 degrees or 64 degrees tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon. That's wild. It's still February. Not supposed to be that warm. It's like in the 20s Celsius, I'm pretty sure. Maybe. I think it is. Next on the table is the Lizardman Blood Bowl 2. Okay, nice, nice. Well, seems like you're almost done with those AdMech. Raptor's cruising through his teams. Good stuff, man. Was 80 where you were the other day. Jeez. That's crazy. We're still in winter. Not supposed to be that warm here. Where's my maple syrup season? Detailing a base is nice. Nice. Are you keeping the skin silver? Does the skin stay metal, or are you gonna paint like a flesh color on them? I did watch, Crucial Blue sent me a video, or he posted it in his Discord, of the Maple Syrup Mafia. Talks about the Maple Syrup Mafia, but the Great Maple Syrup Heist, or whatever they called it. That's a pretty great little YouTube documentary. I'm not going to contribute a portion of my maple syrup to the International Syrup Reserve of Canada. Not doing that. Hoping for a cold March, yeah. Wouldn't mind some cooler weather. I do like it if it just stays, 60 something degrees for the next month. I'm cool with that too. Next couple months. Okay, skin's gonna be a different color. Gotcha. I don't know if Killicam is lurking, but I did play a game of Middle-earth SPG yesterday. This was our first practice game. This is my first game of the new edition, but this is my practice, Cam and my practice for the tournament in March that we're going to. And this is, I think it's going to be a pretty intense tournament just because it's happening right before Adepticon, and it's like an Adepticon prep tournament. So I think people might end up being pretty sweaty with this tournament, but yeah, we played a practice game yesterday, and I was a little nervous at first, but then like 2 turns in, Cam was struggling to like wound my dwarves. Basically, I was playing dwarves, he was playing Isengard, and I kind of just had like amazing dice and just kind of cleaned house. So I guess my Middle Earth dice are just good now. I think that's just how this works. It was a fun game. I don't know if it was like a I don't know how much I mean I learned a lot playing the game and, you know, getting an idea of what my units can do, but I feel like it was maybe a little skewed just because my luck was so good. So yeah, like, yeah, it feels good to win, but the purpose wasn't necessarily just to win, it was to like get an idea of like things working. So we need more games. That's what we determined. Need to figure some things out, but dwarves might be really good, which is unusual for Middle Earth. Dwarves are never like a great army in that game, at least Khazad-dûm dwarves that I play. So what kind of announcement can we expect? 11th edition is 100% going to be announced. Yeah, that's Adepticon announcement. Like, first priority is 11th edition. Um, I don't know if they'll do. So I was reading that last year, or not last year, when they announced 10th edition. It was a 2-hour stream or something like that, and they took 40 minutes of time talking about 10th edition. What's coming in 10th edition. They didn't show much of the rules, but they talked a lot. They did interviews with like the game designers and everything, and they were doing that whole thing, talking about changes and stuff to look forward to. So this preview is set to be 2 hours. So if we take that and we say, okay, so 40 minutes of that or so will be 11th edition announcement, even if it's just like a cinematic video and then they're talking to him about the game. Like, that's I think that's a pretty safe bet. I think Old World will get a big announcement, because Old World's kind of, they're out of things. We're just waiting for Cathay, and Cathay's been, you know, their wave 2 has been sat on for the past 3 months, almost 4 months or whatever. So I think Old World will get a big announcement. I think Heresy will get a big announcement. I'm sure Age of Sigmar will get probably the last couple codexes, right? Or battle tomes or whatever they call them, because they're trying to get all of those out by the end of the year, because their new edition comes out next year. Simplified but not simple. No, yeah, we had to make some bingo cards for this. Like, yeah, make a bingo card and see like of statements that are said about the game. Yeah, I'm gonna call like nostalgia bait for rules. So like, they're gonna call out like, yeah, this rule that was in this edition, we thought it'd be really, like, look, we're bringing it back. You know, we're bringing back a vehicle armor, or we're bringing back, you know, all or nothing armor saves, or something like that. Like, there's gonna be like serious like nostalgia rules going. This is gonna be a pretty miserable stream day if this is what's gonna happen. Alright, I'm back. It is not my internet at all. It was like your camera? What? No, no, it's not my camera.
Stay on target.
That's pretty crazy that it's you can hear my camera kick on. I wonder if there's some like noise that's happening. But I am 99% sure it's Restream being the issue, with like their servers, like unstable servers or something. And I would say that if it cuts out on me again, I hate I hate continually sending, is it sending notifications to everybody? It's not. Okay, so it's not a big deal because I'm not tagging everybody, every 15 minutes. But if it keeps cutting out, I'll turn it off and I'll do some adjustments today, and then maybe tomorrow we try to just stream Twitch.
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you
and see if that
allowing me back
works.
into your home.
Bati47, welcome in. Is utilizing your camera on your computer notification? No. Are you're hearing my disconnect and reconnect sound? That's what you're hearing. My OBS is disconnecting and OBS is reconnecting sound. Yeah, that's what you're hearing. How are you doing, Bati? Okay. We got some colors on that. Let's see. What else can we work on? I think this is appropriate here. Have the paint. Let's paint the mini, all right? We'll get the little Capricus. Adepticon, do you think we'll see launch models this time, or you think they'll hold them back? I don't know. I don't know if we'll see, if they'll show the launch models or not right away. That's a good question. They might show some of them. Did they show them at Adepticon? I don't know if they showed them at Adepticon last time. Maybe it really was just trailer and then talking about rules changes and really cool miniatures coming and all that stuff. We didn't see minis until April. Okay, yeah. So maybe not. Maybe we won't see minis. They gotta drag that hype out. Yeah, I do. I'm still holding out for Legion specific plastics. I'm feeling real serious that the next reveal that happens for Heresy is one of two things, and that's either Solar Auxilia or Legion specific plastics. So it's going to be one of those two things as the next like reveal thing. That's at least what I'm thinking. No Ogre and Adepticon, you'll be sad. Yeah. There's a good chance. Ogren are coming. They're just not here yet. I'll make a call though. The next reveal that happens for Solar Auxilia, they're getting a totally new unit, I bet. Because you got to put something in the journal, right? And they'll have a journal that comes with it. Heavy las section. A 36-inch blaster las rifle. That'd be pretty cool, actually. I'd be down for that. Something's gonna get me to collect Solar Auxilia again. I want to get a combat force eventually. That combat force is such a good deal for me. It has so many things I want out of it. You know, mainly just the infantry, but the fact that you get like a tank and then pretty much the free sentinels is a really nice deal. Paint, get in there. Good deal. Search how much Sentinels cost. Yeah, yep. Have 60 more lines and save like $100. Yeah. Well, you know, who was ever going to know that that was a thing that was going to be coming out for Heresy anyway? So it's all kind of spur of the moment. It's just what GW wants. I mean, I would totally buy more of the original Battle Force box. I know people still sell on eBay because that's essentially the same box, but it comes with so the Light Sentinel comes with a whole Dracosan and a Heavy Sentinel. Like that's a crazy deal, and it was I think 50 more bucks retail or something. Yeah, so it's $50 more after all the discounts are said and done and everything. I think that's about what it was. But $50 for basically a Dracosan at that point, right? So you're just saving more money, saving more by spending more. I definitely want to run a lot of infantry with Solar Auxilia because if I'm running Spire Guard, like that's their whole gimmick is just running a bunch of infantry. So, but you need to you have to run other stuff too. So. Three of the you did buy you're the reason I couldn't buy stuff. I couldn't find anything for Solar Aux when they came out because you bought everything. You probably saved me a bunch of money, to be honest, so thank you for your service. Yeah, yeah. He did. Dude, he did. They had a second wave that came out. I'm like, man, I love those little mini sentinels. They're so cool. And yeah, I went to my local store. They're like, no, there's none available. And like both their locations were just sold out. And I show up and play against him in a game, and he's got like 15 of those little sentinels. Well, I have my 3D printer going. I'm about to have 2 full Predator tanks printed. My goal is to find a way to magnetize the sponsons on them, because I don't want to stick with just the same sponsons on every time. I'd like to have some... I want to print a whole new Predator just for different sponson options, because they're a little wonky with the prints. So I'm going to try to make that work. And then the main guns, I don't need to magnetize. I will literally just print another turret with another main gun, because it's like 30 cents. Yeah. I use resin, Bati, yeah. Yep, I have a resin printer. I need to look up... Yep, I have my old... Mars 3. That is an absolute little tank, and it's starting to get some issues, but it's all right. We got it going. I think when I start to sense its death, I'm going to try to print a bunch of stuff that's just like necessary things like base toppers and everything. So I don't have to, worry about buying a new printer for a while. Okay. Colors here. Now I'm going to get with these little wells right here. And then this side panel is going to be different color, and I'm going to paint these little frog feet, whatever you call them, will be a different color as well. So yeah, I feel like I can go win a Middle-earth tournament now, after having played one game in the new edition. That game is funny, though. They have been through many editions of Middle-earth SPG from its founding, and with the Fellowship of the Ring game, when the movie came out in 2001. And 95% of the rules in that game are exactly the same as they were in 2001. There's like a 5% shift in the rules, and they change like the tiniest little bit of rules with new editions, and then just like, sell books. The main thing that changes is like how to build an army. That's like the biggest change in the rules. and like some of like specific hero rules, and maybe some like monster rules, because monsters are always hard to balance. There's a bunch of monsters in the game. But I played my dwarves, and my rules have been the same for, or pretty close to the same for about 12 years at this point. What they were when like The Hobbit was like the name of the game, so I'm cool with it. Okay, got those little well pieces painted. That's a good deal. I'm going to paint the crew just kind of separate. Just wait until this tank is mostly painted and then paint the crew on their own. I have these other little things to paint. These little boxes. I'm hoping to finish all these this week though, so we're going to try to get some good progress. I probably just won't have a lot of time in the evening to work on them. I really want to finish them. Okay. That's it. That color. Okay, so we're gonna move on. A lot of random colors just sitting out here. Let's put them back. You can stay out, you can stay out. Okay. Get some coal black. That's our next color. We'll start on these guns. I think the only thing it really needs are the feet of the guns, and then yeah, basically this whole foot piece will be black. any kind of ammo that's laying around in open crates. So hopefully next week I might be back to painting some Thousand Suns. I'm not sure if it's going to be. It might be tanks that we're painting, which would be cool. It might also be Saturnine stuff. Both will probably take about a similar amount of time. Okay. 4 little feet. Painted on that guy. So over here. Get this other one. I'm looking forward to having some cheaper tanks in my army, though. I have a lot of probably overpriced tanks or very specialized tanks, so having Predators will be really nice. They are dirt cheap, and they still have decent guns on them. Anybody hobbying right now? Anybody doing anything fun? We're gonna have a 9 to 5. Hey, at least you can listen and or watch things you want, right? Hobby earlier, cooking now. Alright, nice. Nice. Okay. Little feet. Oh, I did think about, okay, so our Discord hobby hangout, Patreon hangout tomorrow. I will almost certainly, and I'm just going to say I'm going to be late. I might not start until about 9 or so. Other people are welcome to jump in before, but I won't be there until about 9. So I agreed to teach someone a learning game, and their only available day is Wednesday. And so I just told them I need to leave the store by like 8:30. So I'm gonna try to get out in good time.
Look at me!
Ooh, cool. Where am I looking? Whips. All right, blue. All right. Is this the change bringer? Is it still whip? I thought you finished it last night. I don't know. I'm just talking. Get that in a minute. You posted the wrong place. No. That's fine. That looks so good though. The gold base room was so cool. Yeah. No man, great job. Mini looks fantastic. The skin, the blue, the green. I guess you call it fire, warp flame, whatever. Just great. Yeah. Feathers look really nice. A little fish snake on the front. Yeah, good stuff, man. One less mini, yeah. Get it done. How many more minis you got in the backlog? How about I'll ask you, how many digits of minis do you have in the backlog? Because I know. I know it's terrifying. Two-digit number, less than 75. Okay. I feel like not all of them are going to take as much time as the changeling either, so. Do you have like a goal for your, or like painting your backlog? Like, I'm gonna try to finish the backlog this year, or like I'm not buying anything until I get the backlog done, or is it just like, you know, I'm just gonna work on it when I work on it kind of thing? Oh shoot. Yeah. And he slipped. Oh well. We can go get that bone. We'll touch it up. So my personal backlog is actually so caught up. Now, I have a lot of like random minis that I've had for years and I'm never going to paint. Like, you know, that's a different kind of thing, but like the minis I use in games, you know, for like the games I play, it's almost non-existent. Is it fair to count the backlog like that, or is that cheating? Welcome back, Zen. Kind of splitting our time between the artillery and this Capricus. Probably spending more time on this thing, but get some big colors out of the way. It'll go pretty quick. But if we can get most of the work done on these, that'd be really good. I just need to make sure I get the airbrush out and actually base coat these steel jacks, so I can start on them tomorrow. So Zen, you're assembling the rapiers. The scrolls could have been better. I mean, I think if anything on the scrolls, like just more like definition, like darker recesses, right? What was the other day? The fumes were getting to you? Oh, okay, okay. That's fair. Coughing, what a new yeah, all that together, yeah. Okay. More black on this mini. Carefully grab this kind of casing right here. Alright, and then we need to get it's like bumper things. Bull bars on the floating vehicle. Yeah, like it's gonna roll, right? When Zen, a random thing about the minis you're in the process of putting together, that rapier battery, those 4 like crew for the rapier battery, you can actually take them without a gun, and they make their own separate like retinue unit, and they're like a command and control squad. They're just like radio dudes that give you extra reactions. That's how they work if you take them on their own. Yeah. It's really cool. I actually, to be honest, I completely forgot about that squad until just a couple minutes ago. I think I need to take that in my next game. Okay. Those bars, what else? What else do we need to get with this color? There's one with the gun there. Okay, those stay silver. Alright, cool. We can come back with a second coat on that in a little bit. Let's move on first. So I want to do red on the artillery, and I want to do orange on the vehicle. Is that mini? The mini dropped a glass bowl of sour cream. Oh, what? Is she sneaking sour cream again? Is that what's happening? Oh, she made herself a quesadilla. Oh, nice. All right. Well, that sounds good. Goldfish head on the end of the staff was supposed to be orange? Oh, okay. That's all good. What are you trying for? Your own wife is making fun of you being colorblind. It's terrible. I think it's a cool look. It's like a metallic lime green. Really cool. Oh, okay, okay. Sure, she's caring for you. All right. Okay, little red box of ammo here. Then yeah, basically this piece, this piece, this piece going to be red. Did I tell you, Blue? I watched the what color do you think this shirt is? That's funny. I watched the documentary, the maple syrup heist. If your wife doesn't make fire, are you even married? Yeah. It is pretty crazy, yeah. I think it's funny that they had such a good plan, and they talk about, oh, it's dangerous, we can't, we can't take the time to fill them with water, so let's just keep them empty. Like, at some point I feel like they they were kind of sniffing their own copium or whatever, like thinking they were too good to get caught. Yeah. It's also funny too. The guy said that warehouse holds 5,000 barrels of syrup, and they had stolen 3,000 barrels of it. And they had to pick up the pace. Like, was their plan to steal all of it? Because if they didn't want to get caught, I feel like the idea would be you steal a couple barrels every once in a while. Not... Yeah. Or, better yet, you steal a barrel and then you take like half of it and you fill the other half with water, right? Like, there's so many other ways that they could have gotten away with everything. You gotta, yeah. Yeah, it was definitely unsustainable. They got super greedy, yeah. Yeah, 3,000 barrels, and you just give up filling up on them. I wonder how many they didn't fill up. You know, like, was this like they got through 100 of them? They're like, this is too slow. Let's let's get moving, and then they went for like another 3 months of doing, you know, like 2,900 barrels like really quick, and they're like, yeah, this is perfect. He doesn't really give a timeline. Yeah, it was a fun documentary. This whole thing needs to be read as well, so we can get in here. It's a special full-size replica of the Matrix of Leadership from Transformers. We have purchased the moment. Oh my gosh, a full-size replica of the Matrix of Leadership. All right, that's like your movie, though, right? That Transformers movie. I feel like you talk about that movie like I talk about Lord of the Rings. Ugh, this is gonna be messy. It's true, yeah. Lights up, USB rechargeable, plays the corny 80s song, The Touch, when you open it. Okay. Computer can be read. Go through and touch up the bone here in a little bit. Okay. Looks kind of goofy. We'll get there. We will get there. Still looks goofy. We'll pivot and we'll adjust. Do you guys remember a 90s, I think it was a Disney movie, a movie called Heavyweights? You guys remember that? I was thinking about that movie the other day. It was a great movie. Had Ben Stiller. He like goes crazy. Yeah, Fat Camp with Ben Stiller. Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about that movie. I was like, man, I want to watch that movie. I don't know if that would be a movie that would be on, like, available for streaming, or if Disney would rather just forget about it. Hello, T-Slayer. How are you doing? It is on Disney Plus. Okay, cool. I have to watch sometime. Generation Disney live action movies, or they're pumping out like crazy? Yeah. Yep. Needs Dan's as the garbage man who joins the Phil. I don't remember that one specifically. But yeah, it's like what Disney had. Was The Little Giants? Wasn't that Disney? And yeah, there's like 1,000 movies that came out. It's like they're all kind of similar in their like style, right? Incredible Kicking Garbage Man. I'm sure that's the exact title too. They're good movies. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've never seen The Incredible Kicking. The Garbage Picking, Field Goal Kicking Philadelphia Phenomenon. That's even worse than the title you gave. That's amazing. I've never seen that one, though. We watched The Little Giants maybe last year. We watched it, and man, is that movie full of like terrible stereotypes, but it was entertaining. It's also funny because it's like such a low stakes movie. It's just the two teams playing a game to see who plays in the like little league or whatever, but yeah. Yeah. You're calling out drive-ins and that weird movie all in the same statement, and I feel like you're doing that just to make me feel old. I live within reasonable distance of one of the last drive-in movie theaters in the country. And I've considered taking my son there to go see a drive-in movie. With the Union Pine asset. So, yeah, okay. Okay. kind of hate that red. But let's keep going with it. We'll see. We'll see what it does here. We said we needed some touch-ups. I do need a little bit of black anyway for these items. Let's put some more black down on the palette. We're going to go through to the second coat of black. My goal is to kind of do the full week of streaming. I know we had a day off last week. So, get some more of these painted. And, maybe finish some minis. We'll see. I think what might help to balance here is the computer panel on the front, this part, painting that black. It's just a lot of red. It's gonna be darkened down and stuff, but So next week, I think Games Workshop said they're announcing something, a new miniature, and I'm almost positive it's a new Knight mini. That's what's been rumored for a while, and they're hinting of like under the shadow of its armored might or something like that. Is through and through a statement about knights. So if you're a knight player, get ready to see something new. It looks like it's coming out with a campaign book. Be the idea. Little roll bars here. Okay. That's it for the black there. Good morning, Jaded Valkyrie. Terminators are cool, Night Trap? Yeah, I agree. Terminators are cool. I don't like to use Terminators super often when I play any Warhammer game, really, but they are very cool. I'm currently working through colors on these artillery pieces and a little motor scooter Capricus. That's what we're working on. I'm not sure if I like it or not yet. Very Santa looking. But let's keep trudging forward and see how it is. My weekend was good. Yeah, it was kind of a long weekend. Painting set had a 4-day weekend. My wife had a 3-day weekend. So I spent Friday chilling with the boy. It was cool. Played some video games. Went to the local game store. Grabbed lunch. It was a good day. Yeah, and yesterday was good too. I had to play a tabletop game, so that was nice. And then we were just hanging out. So trying to work on the old YouTube video that is not ready to be released yet. But Starlit Misfit, welcome in. How are you doing? My goal is to get everything ready to record by the end of the evening tonight, and then maybe record it tomorrow and try to edit it real quick. Get it out for Patreon on Wednesday, and then I can release to everybody else Thursday afternoon or so. Could see some Votann on the table. Yep. I end up painting quite a bit of Votann. I think last time I painted these were maybe November, October, somewhere around then. Yeah, how are you doing, Starlet? Just a little bit of orange on there to change things up. Yep, little floaty APC. Yeah, looks like a little frog. You have nights I haven't played a game with him? Definitely need to finish all before I get more. Yeah. So you're probably not the target audience. I don't know. It's supposed to be between the size of an Armiger and like a Questoris Knight. So like a medium-sized Knight vehicle. So, yeah, something to look out for. Just got up from a nap. That sounds amazing. I would love to take a nap. Oh man, Blue, Crucial Blue, are you still chilling in stream? I got a question for you. I have a syrup question for you. Working on Cheesecold's Ridge Runner Kit Bash and some Tau Firewars. Oh, that's cool. Alright. Okay. Alright, okay, dude. Alright. So, I've not done this. I start boiling down syrup. How long of a process is this? If I just have like a couple gallons of sap. Is this like I'm going to be yeah, like I'm gonna be doing this all night? Or is this like, 2 or 3 hours it'll boil down? Ran a boiler all night. We had a boiler that was several hundred gallons if memory serves. It also ran incredibly hot. Hot enough to melt glass beer bottles into puddles. Oh, wow. Okay, jeez. Okay, okay. It's a couple gallons. Yeah, my size operation here. That's a smelter. Yeah, you guys ran a smelter. It was a cover for something else. Let's What's up, Quishy? How you doing? Yeah, be careful not to burn it. Yeah. So I know like the boiling points of it and everything, and to keep it around there, around. I think I'm just gonna try to keep it on its boiling point. You finished the Great War series? Oh, nice. Okay, very cool. Yeah, the World War II series was great from them, Quishy, and they're currently doing the Korean War. You know, all these are on their own channels. They just made new channels for these. But the Korean War slows down real quick after like the first year, and it's just like everybody sits still and negotiates. So if that's something you're interested in listening to, just be prepared. That kind of attitude to take over in the series week by week. Fun Sponge, welcome in. And thank you for the sub. How are you doing? Send him maple syrup in 1 to 5 hours. Yeah, seriously. Oh man, alright. Alright. Next coat of orange here. Work through colors. We're playing Old World with you. Wait, hold on. Okay. I imagine it was at the tournament back in December, Fun Sponge. What army were you playing? So I have an idea who this was. Welcome in though. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I had a blast. That tournament was a ton of fun. All three of my opponents were incredible, which I guess I have to say while I'm live on stream and I don't know who you are. But oh, it's Tomato. Okay, yep, played your Bertoni. Yeah, no, that was a super enjoyable game. No, you're my kind of people because you're super chill, and that's great because I don't like to be a super excitable person, but. Good stuff. I haven't played any Old World since that tournament. Struggling with mental health recently? I'm sorry to hear that. You making sure you're getting some exercise? Get outside, hydrating. Getting some sun. I know seasonal depression's a thing. I am also wholly unqualified to give any kind of mental health advice. But I do hope, I hope you're able to find some things that you can do to kind of lift you up a little bit if that's doable. Oh, like seasonal depression is brutal. Yeah. Combined Sunday, Patrick and Donovan are playing their Adepticon list, but me and Sly are just trying not to get tabled. Oh no. Well, I don't know if I could on Sunday. Could I? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can. I'll go Table Patrick. I owe him some revenge. Anyway. He played, so... Sponge, he played, he taught me, or like kind of got me like up to date on the rules for the game. So we did like a, hey, I want to play a learning game. Can someone like kind of, yeah, like run me through, teach me some rules and stuff? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll teach you. Okay, cool. He brought the most disgusting Bretonnian list, and like I did nothing that whole game. I moved forward one turn and just got charged and died. And I was like, after that game, I was like, I learned nothing from this game. It had to have been like one of the worst learning games I've ever played. And so I decided to, at that point, I turned my vampire count list into something like much more competitive to go to the tournament, and then went to the tournament with just like a nasty list. I learned to not play against Bretonnians. Yeah. That was my original takeaway. I beat Fun Sponge's army. He played Bretonnians. I beat him at the tournament. But I had kind of two things. Like, one, I was already like spooked on so many units, and then two, his list was not quite as disgusting as the other guys. So he wasn't playing quite as like try hard with it. So yeah, taking vitamin D will help with that. Yeah. Struggle when it's bad. Yeah. Okay, what are we doing next? I need to get some more colors on things here. That's all silver. Yeah, okay. That is kind of our next thing. Let's get some black brown out. It's very stout. Yeah, you definitely, everybody did, Sponge. That the 3 games I played, not one person destroyed my Graveguard unit. They ate everything. One unit, it was my first game I played against Beastman, and he had like Gores and 3 characters, and at one point had a flank charge on me with something else. It was like a greater chaos spawn or something, and he won the combat by like 5 or 6, and I would just like pull a guy off out of the unit after it was all said and done. And I just healed the unit at the beginning of my turn. Like I played against an Empire player, and he had a flank charge on me with Demigryph Knights. They fought a steam tank the whole game. He charged them with another unit, and I still had half the unit at the end of the game, even though my what was it, the character in the unit was killed. The vampire was killed or whatever with the banner. But is it a vampire? No, it wasn't. It was a white king or white lord with the banner. My battle sayer was killed in that game, and they still just survived. That was just kind of what they did. This weekend you're hoping to grab the new Thousand Suns Battle Force. Oh, cool. What's all in that Battle Force? Is that like the like Terminators and stuff? What's in that one? And if you guys are curious when something is coming out, or like if something has been announced or if it's just a rumor or something, I actually do have I have a Google Doc that I keep. It's available in the Discord as like it's a pinned post in the Gaming News and Rumors channel. But it's an updated list of like everything Games Workshop has officially previewed but hasn't released. And whenever they give things a release date, I post the release date on it and everything. Oh, it's got the Mutilith Vortex Beast. Very nice. That's cool. That's such a cool mini. Mr. Bomber jacket here. Yeah, Sponge, I appreciate you stopping by, and I appreciate the sub and everything. It's really, really generous of you. I just sit here and paint minis all day, man. Actually, I'm painting minis for another hour or so, but that's what I do. Yeah, I played. I'm prepping for a Middle Earth tournament next month. And I also play a lot of Horus Heresy. So like Horus Heresy is probably my main game at this point that I play. And I'm always painting minis for that, it feels like. Always have something. Finish some Knights, nice, nice. Let's see, let me get in on this belt a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. Are there Xenos and Horus Heresy? Not technically, no. So there. I mean, you know, it's the Imperial Civil War, so there's no Xenos. But there are demons. They're called Demons of the Ruin Storm. They're very customizable, and there's also it's a free PDF for their rules. It's a full like codex book that's free, which is really nice. And then there's also they're called the Imperialis Militia, and that is another free rule set. And in the militia in particular, the rules in that book, in my opinion, out of all of the GW Army books that have come out, you know, probably in the past 15 years, I think that free PDF for the militia is probably their best codex they've come up with. It's the most interesting one. There's so many options that you can actually make, like Votann armies. There's rules for running Votann in your militia army. There's rules for essentially Genestealer cults. If you want to run a Genestealer cult as a militia army, or Necromunda gangs, or what are they called? The Palatine Enforcers. They're like cops. You can do like like Imperial cops basically as an army, or Ogren armies. Sisters of Battle is possible with like how you adjust the rules. So like you can do a lot of different things with that militia army. But no, there are no official Xenos in the Heresy. It is very much about the Horus Heresy. Bashed by de-orking Boomdaka Snazwagon I got off Comic. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they're fairly similar, aren't they? Those two minis, like in like a silhouette, right? I feel like I could see that kit bash. Okay, we're gonna grab this orange. I've also seen people running Tyranids in Horus Heresy, and what they do, they use the demon rules. Because the demon rules in Heresy, there's no like Nurgle, Slanesh, um, Korn, that kind of thing. It's all it's just like lesser demons, greater demons, demon brutes and stuff like that, flying demons. There's all kinds of those things, and so it's very kind of like open-ended. Um, and then you kind of choose like kind of an army rule that kind of dedicates your god or your rules or whatever. But even those are a little more open to interpretation. But yeah, I have seen people run Tyranids in the demons rules. Imagine the Imperium lost a good bit of territory to Xenos during the Heresy. I don't think they lost quite that much. One of the things, like, leading up to the Heresy was, the whole Great Crusade. And essentially, the humans wiped out all of the threats to them from the different Xenos. Like, there were no species left to go out and conquer the galaxy. So, now later on, the humans killed all the easy to kill ones, right? And later on we figure out like it's the dangerous ones that they left alive. But like the next big war for the Imperium against Xenos was the War of the Beast, and that was like 1500 years after the Heresy ended. And it almost collapsed the Imperium basically, but yeah, they wiped out all the reasonable ones. Yeah, no, the orcs. So there was a huge war in the Great Crusade. It was actually the Sons of Horus with the Emperor. So it was Horus and the Emperor, and they fought on this planet called Olinar, and it was this giant battle, and it was basically them trying to wipe the orcs from the galaxy. I think they thought they did. But it was this big climactic battle where like the Emperor almost died and Horus saved his life in this whole thing. And that's when the Emperor decided to make Horus the War Master, and he was going to go like retire, was when they destroyed the orcs on that planet. And they turned that whole planet, they terraformed it into like a parade ground basically, just to announce that Horus was going to be the War Master. And so like that's a big event that leads to the Heresy. But the orcs end up like the humans basically abandoned the planet after that. Like they're like, oh cool, we made this big parade ground, all right, we're gone, like we don't need it anymore. And then that was it, and the orcs took it back over. I'm not going to spoil anything from the War of the Beast, even though the series sucks. Yes, Starlet, you are right. Olinor does ends up being renamed to Armageddon. Yep. And there's even like there's more to it than that, but yeah. Everything I've heard is the War of the Beast is an absolute like garbage book series. That like 8 authors wrote 12 books in 10 months or something. Like it's crazy. Yeah. Leveled a continent, filling lakes and valleys with mountains, just to make the platform big enough for like a third of the legions to attend. Yeah. And let's be honest, alright, a third of the legions, like 1 million people, you don't need to level continents to fit 1 million people somewhere. That is so extra and ridiculous, but that's the Imperium. But yeah, that War of the Beast was that was like the big Xenos war after the Heresy. It's not a reasonable production cycle in the slightest. No. What are we gonna do today? We're gonna level this continent. We gotta be ready for the big show tonight. They just abandoned the planet. Doubting I'll finish these today, but getting all these little base colors down would be really nice. I'll have to take the like 15 minutes and base coat the rest of these steel jacks because I ran out of bone color. I was in the middle of doing that. Thought I had a replacement, I didn't, so I had to go buy a replacement. Book 19 of the Horus Heresy book. Sometimes the math doesn't math in the funny. Yeah. Games Workshop does not understand how to scale things. They really don't. In their books, it's, yeah. And I understand they try to, like, you know, it's a lot of, like, trying to retcon things and do all that, but they're like, you know, oh, this the Thousand Suns at, you know, one book they only have 9,000 and in the other one they have like 80,000, but then there's, you know, they talk about they go to war and it's a 7-year war, but, you know, millions and millions of Space Marines have been killed, but in total there might be like 1.5 million, but they conquer, you know, 1 million worlds between all of them, and then they fight, and then they can replenish their numbers over 7 years, like multiple times. And yeah, like even with the inductii, like taking a couple months instead of a couple years to train one, like those numbers just don't add up. But it's cool. We don't need a perfect setting, right? About a solid book every year. That's not the norm. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and they did. Yeah, they did a yeah, it was like a whole 12 book series in like 10 months that they put out. It was crazy. Pretty bad. That's where the Death Watch, that's apparently where they found the Death Watch, and it's like the corniest, like most ridiculous founding story for the Death Watch. Playing against aliens with less than the Soviets brought to Stalingrad. Yeah, exactly, Jada Valkyrie. Yeah, they're like, oh, it's a whole regiment of 8,000 guardsmen, and they're like, defend this whole planet. You're like, no, we're losing millions of men, but our regiment is holding, or whatever, and it's, yeah. It's funny, too, because you can tell when Games Workshop, when the writers came up with a lot of the lore, like, they didn't understand a lot about like real like military equipment. They talk about like the Basilisk, and you know, it has this giant gun and this huge gun, and it's like 220 millimeters, you know, which is a very big gun. But like we have those today. Like those are, you know, not like the most popular caliber of weapon, but it is definitely a very usable caliber of weapon by today's standards, and it's not like anything ridiculous. I just want to read something about Basilisk, and they're like, you know, oh, it's able to launch projectile you know, like 3 miles away, and it was like, whoa, yeah, and then, yeah, and then you just find out, like, we have artillery that launches stuff like 20 miles or whatever, 15 miles or more with like today's technology. Battleship, it's battleship caliber, 220 mil. Is 220 mil a battleship caliber? Wait till they find out about ICBM. Yeah. Well, you know, you have the Death Strike missile, right? It might be about as close as you get. (16-inch). Is that equivalent to 220? So 22 centimeters, 16 inches. That doesn't seem. (8-inch) on a cruiser. 220 mil is an 8-inch gun. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. That makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah, they're using like battleships are using 8-inch guns in like World War One. You know, like those are like dreadnought level weapons, which they had, you know, railroad guns that could fire shells further than, you know, that were bigger caliber and could fire shells further than, you know, a Basilisk could or whatever. Granted, it had to be on a railroad, but that's where technology needs to develop. Drying out? Yeah, it's drying. Okay. I do like artillery in strategy games, though. A big fan. Hey, am I allowed to ask a favor here? Can I ask you guys a favor? I have, if you're watching me on Twitch, I have a YouTube channel. I'm sure most of you guys know that by now. But if you guys wouldn't mind at least subscribing to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to get monetized on YouTube, and I need, one of the big requirements is needing 500 subscribers. I'm at like 460 plus. So I just need like 30 something subscribers. And I'm sure I'll get there eventually. I'm not like, yeah, everything's gonna collapse, but you know, I need more watch time too, and more view time and everything. So like that's a thing, but you know, it would get one more thing off my mind if you guys wouldn't mind doing that. I don't like to ask people in my videos to like and subscribe. It bothers me. So maybe I'm missing out on a lot if by not doing that, but I don't know. I'm just gonna ask you guys to like and subscribe my stuff. Yo, meeting at 10? Yeah, okay. Better. Yes, we should, Zen. We definitely should. Sounds good, dude. Feel better. You've done the... Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. You can bring your new TMNT cards. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you.
Oh, thank you for the sub. Thank you. Thank you. Ben's gonna break out the TMNT cards, guys, and bring them. You wait. You'll all see. Next thing I need to do, I need a little bit, let's get a slightly smaller brush here. Bone color here. How does YouTube count viewers? So it'll count a view on the video if you like watch like 5 seconds of it or whatever. My other, you know, as far as like, you know, I want to get monetized on YouTube, you know, what that counts is watched hours. So the amount of hours in total that people have watched my channel. So it says I need this many thousands of hours in like a 365-day period get monetized, which is crazy compared to like Twitch requirements. Twitch requirements are pretty easy, and I have no idea about volume. I don't know. That is a great question. I know Twitch is weird about that. Like, you, if the volume's off, it doesn't count it as a view or whatever. But yeah, I don't know about YouTube. Because I understand the actual videos I put out are like super niche. So some people seem to enjoy them, but I know they're not for any great number of people. I think it would be cool, as much as I don't like aim for to be like noticed by Games Workshop. I think it would be cool if my Thousand Suns videos were a thing and I could get some stuff to like review and everything from GW ahead of time, just for like as someone who makes like guides and stuff like that for videos, not as like just a painter. Because like as a painter, I feel like if I got those items, then I would need to like get painting those right away, which I definitely would do. I would be painting those as much as I could, as fast as I could, but that padding is actually black. Okay. I'm gonna mute the tab in Chrome, which YouTube won't know about. Oh, look at those hacks from my draw. All right. That's legit. It looks like there's more people I want to support. Yeah. I think there used to be, I don't know if there still is, but there at least used to be like a way to multi-view Twitch. Yeah, I actually did an experiment once. I had 2 streams up. I had them on separate tabs, and I would open one tab and I'd watch the viewer count go up by 1, and then I'd click to the other tab and it would go down and the other one would go by 1. I was doing that back and forth. It was crazy to see, like, you have to have that tab like active in order to for the person to get the credit. There's lurk rules now where you have to interact or something every so really. Man, it's really annoying. They don't like people sleeping in streams, huh? Yeah, so you can watch multiple streams, but be a viewer only one at a time. Yeah, yep. That's the idea. 2 streams of 2 people who are playing the same game together, being active both is kind of fun and absolutely chaotic. Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, just chatting random stuff in both streams. That's pretty funny, actually. Okay, let's do a little bit of skin here. Recognizing my ADHD. That's all we ask, Jaden. That's it. This guy is more beard than dwarf at this point, so paint on him. We can with the cards we're given. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You gotta channel that ADHD into something useful. The next thing, yeah, I can do this while some colors are drying. Some light bronze. Just a little computer screen there. We'll get the next one. Here's an Ohio question for TPD. How in the heck do the admin at King's High School in Mason prevent their kids from skipping class and heading to Kings Island down the street? That's a good question. I bet yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, right? But I bet the administrators at Kings Island, the people in charge, probably do not care to have school-aged kids in their park during school hours. There's probably some issues with that. However, I imagine the usual employees of, like the ticketing employees at said theme park, probably don't care whatsoever who is coming into the park at what hour. It's not their job to question. They probably don't. I like that question. Hold on, Jaded. Hold on. Is it feasible for a group of Marines to form their own chapter after being cut off from its parent chapter so long and the group's culture being changed? Absolutely, yeah. I know, so I don't know like specific examples of that in 40K, but I do know in 30K there are rules in game for something like that, and they're called they're called black shields. is what they're called. So there are rules for Space Marines and Horus Heresy that are left or leave their legion for some particular reason, and they kind of find other like-minded Marines and form a group. And typically what happens is they abandon their legion colors, and so that's why they're called Black Shield. They might just wear like black armor or whatever. um, and they kind of, maybe they have a purpose, maybe it's just out of necessity, like they were left on a planet and they have no way to get off, or those kind of things. But yeah, Black Shields are rules that you can get in the Heresy. That is exactly what you're describing, just on in a like a 30k scale. Their rules are pretty wild too. You can get rules of just having characters, so you're just running Centurions, and um, yeah, and you can make rules. There's ones like rules for troops or soldiers that they know they're going to die and their whole mission's to die, but they want to get revenge on whatever they're doing. So you actually get points if your troops die, as well as like capturing objectives and stuff. So like, it's kind of like their last stand, like the 47 Ronin kind of thing. There's yeah, all kinds of like crazy rules for Black Shields. There's one, okay, my favorite Black Shield rule set is it's called it's a Weapons of Desperation. So your Marines are abandoned for so long that they don't even have like working bolters and Marine weapons, so you can actually field them with like normal human weapons like las guns and auto guns and las pistols and stuff. The difference is, when a Marine uses a las gun, they are so much better with the las gun than a normal guardsman, that the gun has different stats, but you can also wield them as pistols. So you have, or like shotguns, you'll wield shotguns as pistols and stuff like that. So you'll have a Marine running around dual wielding las guns and firing them like pistols and stuff, and like those are the Marines that you work with. So you have crappy las guns, but you throw out so many shots with the las gun that you're just so much better than like a guardsman or whatever, a militiaman. Yeah, those are Black Shield rules. Oh yeah, it's incredible. There's a creator on Cults that makes upgrades for those weapons. So you can print out like shotguns that are being wielded with one hand. It's like a Space Marine hand, or like las guns or las pistols, or yeah, different stuff like that. So there are rules for that kind of stuff, and it's crazy. Little bit of paint. There we go. New foundings often use Space Marines from established chapters as the officers of the new chapter. For example, a group of Ultramarines would take up the leadership of a new Ultramarine successor. Yeah, that's right. Some chapters also send advisors to successors to steer their culture. In the new call book, the Space Wolves sent a Wolf Priest to the Wolf Spears for that purpose. That's lame. Stupid Space Wolves. Trying to change people. Sketchy. All right. Here in Indominus, a lot of new foundings didn't have officers from older chapters due to the sheer numbers of experienced, unnumbered sons the new chapters could pull from. Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense. Let's do... No, not you. No, you. We'll do a different color. A lot of inspiration for custom chapters out there. The Iron Shields exist, but their history is lost even to them. Prophets of Mercury were lost in the war, thought to be killed. Star Scorpions just lost. Yeah, it's pretty purposeful that Games Workshop leaves a lot of open-ended interpretation into like Space Marine chapters or any faction really. Like, I don't think there's any faction that's completely accounted for, because that would stifle creativity and coming up with like a your guys army, right? So yeah, we have a lot of colors on there. I need some dark bronze here. I think tonight, if I get a little bit of time, I think I might put some washes over these minis to get that process started. Oh, 100% Anthony. Yeah, the reason that there's like the Lost Primarchs and Legions or whatever is so people could create their own. Yeah. I'm nervous about starting this whole maple syrup thing. Could all go amazing or it could go horribly wrong. I'm going to err on the side of it's going to go horribly wrong. And maybe next year it'll be better. We'll see. As part of the crusade into the Halo stars, the vanished out of trace, set on a lost human world reminiscent of Caliban. Oh, interesting. Okay. Am I about to get ruined on store-bought? I doubt it. I don't know. If this turns out really good, I'm going to be really excited, you know, but I'm not going to expect great things out of, you know, me boiling syrup in a pot outside, but, yeah, you know, we've been fancy buying maple, like real maple syrup from Costco, so we're already spoiled and don't like the other stuff. Yeah, guys, tomorrow it's going to be washes, or I'm going to try to get some washes done. What I have to do is a diluted sepia wash over the bone color, and then kind of a black wash on everything else. And we'll work on these little hover dealies here. You know, repainting buttons, doing highlights, all kinds of stuff like that. But I don't think it'll be too bad. I need to paint this surface also, will be what we do. I'm not sure how the client bases his model, so I'm not going to worry about basing. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. Have a crisis of identity when a watcher starts following around the captain. I realize they've become so much different. They aren't fully the same chapter, but that's cool. There's a story about a chapter, a Space Marine chapter, that kind of goes through a process. They're corrupted by chaos, but oh, who is it? They basically they find a chaos cult on the planet, and they don't have the equipment to do an exterminatus on the planet, but that's what they're ordered to do. So the whole chapter goes through the whole planet and kills the entire planet by hand. They kill everybody. And what they didn't realize is that corrupted them. That was their move, their step into chaos corruption. And so they end up they're all racked with pain and everything unless they start killing. So they realize that whenever they're killing, the pain in their head or their nightmares or whatever go away. And so they literally just turn to chaos unintentionally because they had a job to do. And they did it. Yeah. Wild Lord. I have to look up who is that. I can't remember who that is. What chapter that was. Yeah, it's kind of a thing, they don't realize it for a long time. They just think they're doing their job and just doing whatever. Being Space Marines, they didn't even realize that they were fully corrupted. Yeah, by Khorne. So, yeah. Guys, I'm going to call it right there. We got a lot done. I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to try to get the washes on these minis tonight. I'm going to try to airbrush the steel jacks. I have 4 more I have to put base colors on. That's how close I was. But 4 more to... I'll get this paint on, actually. Remind myself. To base coat. So tomorrow, hopefully, we finish these. And then we start on the steel jacks. That's the goal for tomorrow. And I'm going to try to make that happen. I'm going to get some colors out here so I know what to do tonight. Make sure you get this. Yeah, he's doing space. He just wants an excuse to do Space Wolves and not have me get upset with him. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, I caught a little bit of that. The Space Wolf models do look good though. And if Space Wolves go away from Wolf McWolfface riding a wolf wielding wolves with his wolf cloak and wolf belt on and raccoon skulls hanging from all over his armor, we're cool. I'm cool with that. If they get away from that vibe, and they just become space Vikings. But it's way better than what they were. So, alright guys, I'm going to head out. Thanks Blue for shouting out YouTube and Discord, guys. Come hang out. Subscribe to the YouTube if you wouldn't mind. Help me get to that 500 if you would. But just try to monetize that dang thing. That's all. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll be on tomorrow about the same time, 11 a.m. Eastern, and we're back painting more Votann, doing highlights and the next minis. So have a great day, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.